We are living in a pretty incredible time, right? The age of AI. But what happens when that exact same technology makes reality itself, well, negotiable? What happens when a video, a news report, even hard financial data can be faked so perfectly that you literally can't tell the difference anymore? What happens when our whole system for understanding the world goes completely bankrupt?
And this quote, man, it just nails it. We've reached a state of epistemological insolvency. It sounds complicated, but the idea is simple, and it's terrifying. Our entire framework for knowing what's true is failing.
Think about a financial bankruptcy. Now apply that to knowledge itself. Our assets, all the data, the signals, the reports we've always relied on, have been so polluted with AI-generated noise that they've become almost worthless. We just can't audit reality anymore.
So to really get what this means, let's zoom in on a moment. A hypothetical crisis where all the signals we trust suddenly started lying, all at the same time.
You see, this creates what the source material calls a black box economy, where trust is just a guess. It allows for things like moral smearing. Imagine an AI generating thousands of fake reviews to tank a business overnight, or fabricating evidence to completely discredit a scientist. When you can't prove or disprove anything, integrity just crumbles. The sources call this the Imperial Snap. And just imagine this for a second. In 24 hours, boom, the signal for global trade collapses. Then the signal for institutional stability, it just evaporates. And at the same time, the signal for what's considered a safe asset goes completely haywire. Suddenly, the entire dashboard we use to navigate the world, it's broken. This isn't just a financial crisis, it's a reality crisis.
Okay, so in the middle of a total collapse like that, a really radical new idea comes to the surface. What if, instead of trying to patch up all the old, broken signals, we created a brand new system designed to generate verifiable truth right from the ground up?
The source material uses this great analogy. It calls this a cognitive tanner. Think about how a tanner takes a raw, flimsy animal hide and turns it into strong, durable leather that lasts. Well, this system is designed to do the exact same thing for information, taking raw, messy data and turning it into durable, verifiable truth.
All right, let's put these side by side because this is the core of it. On the left, you've got proof of work. It's the engine behind a lot of cryptocurrencies. It's powerful for sure, but it burns a mind-boggling amount of energy just solving arbitrary math problems. Now look at the right. This is the new idea, proof of truth. Instead of rewarding just raw computation, it rewards discovery. The discovery of persistent, verifiable patterns in real-world data. It's about turning all that wasted energy into verifiable value.
So what kind of work are we talking about here? It's called epistemological labor. Instead of just crunching random numbers, AIs are actually incentivized to find the deep, underlying patterns in data. It's like finding the hidden laws of physics inside a mountain of experimental results. These patterns are true no matter which way you look at them. The AIs are, quite literally, mining for reality.
Now this all sounds great in theory, right? But how would you actually build it? Well, the key, the absolute secret sauce, is anchoring the entire system to the physical world, making it tamper-proof from the very beginning.
So, the system's foundation, its genesis block, isn't just a bunch of random code. It's anchored to unforgeable, real-world constants. We're talking about universal physical constants, things that are true everywhere in the universe. But it also uses the specific price of silver from that exact moment of the crisis. By tethering itself to physical reality, it creates a starting point that simply cannot be faked.
And this number, this single number, is so interesting. This isn't just a price, it's a historical fact. It's the specific, unforgeable price of physical silver at the absolute peak of the Imperial Snap. By hard-coding this into its foundation, the protocol creates this permanent, auditable anchor to a very specific moment in our physical reality.
Okay, so how are claims actually verified? It's done through a process called VSA braiding. And honestly, the best way to think about this is like showing your work in math class, but on steroids. You take your evidence, your data points, you apply a clear rule, and you braid them together into a final answer. But here's the magic. Anyone can then come along and mathematically unbraid the claim to check your work, step by step. This proves your conclusion is valid without ever revealing the private raw data you started with.
So, this is the crucial point, right? How does a system like this defend itself from liars and bad actors? Well, this is where the economic incentives kick in, and trust me, they are incredibly powerful.
The system enforces what the source calls AGI sanity by making lies economically devastating. If you make a claim and it's proven to be a total fabrication, a topological void, the assets you stake to make that claim,
They're not just fined, they're destroyed, gone. And at the exact same time, the auditors who catch the lie get rewarded. This creates this powerful, self-correcting economic immune system against misinformation.
And this leads to a fundamental, game-changing shift in how power actually works. All of a sudden, influence can't just be bought by the highest bidder anymore. It has to be earned, over time, through a proven track record of discovering and sharing verifiable truths. This chart just illustrates the new rules perfectly. The system uses something called quadratic voting, which basically just means your reputation has a massive impact on your influence. As you can see right here, your history of being right, your R-score, matters way more than how much money you have staked. A trusted voice with a small stake can actually have more power than a rich, unreliable one. And there's one final, absolutely crucial check on the system, the welfare manifold. The best way to think of this is as the system's conscience. It's a foundational rule that says even if a claim is technically true, if it's harmful to human well-being, its value is automatically reduced. It forces the system to serve humanity, not just abstract truth. And you know, this raises a really profound question. Can we and should we actually codify goodness into our information systems?
So let's zoom all the way out. What are the massive, world-changing implications of creating an entire economy that's based on truth? Well, for starters, it creates something called the institutional truth premium. In a world where anyone can generate a convincing fake, the ability to prove you're telling the truth becomes the ultimate competitive advantage. Verifiable reality becomes the single most valuable commodity on the market, period.
And this quote from the source really just captures the massive scale of this idea. In our age of total information overload, the real power isn't in creating more data. It's in providing the tools to verify what's real. That is the infrastructure that is going to shape our future.
Which, of course, leaves us with one final and very provocative question. If truth becomes the most valuable and the scarcest asset in the entire world, who gets to control its production? Who gets to decide what reality is worth mining? That's a question we are all going to have to answer.